Few artists loom as large as Whoopi Goldberg, one of the rare performers to achieve the EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. She's the steady hand at the View, the heartbeat of The Color Purple, a revelation in Ghost, and pure joy in Sister Act. Her name glows in Hollywood's memory for a reason. She proved that one voice, funny, fierce, and unflinchingly honest, can change the culture. But the path wasn't paved with comfort. It ran through a New York housing project, past hunger and humiliation, and into rooms where doors rarely opened for black women. She rose anyway, redefining representation, smashing ceilings of race and gender, and building not just a career, but an influence that reaches far beyond the stage. Still, all that brilliance sat beside heartbreak. 3 marriages that didn't last, public missteps, harsh scrutiny, and life-threatening illness. The storms didn't end when the trophies arrived. They merely changed shape. If she's ever made you laugh, cry, or think, consider this your quiet salute. November 13, 1955. In Manhattan's Chelsea Elliott houses, Karen Elaine Johnson took her first breath. The world would later know her as Whoopi Goldberg. Her father, Robert James Johnson Jr., a Baptist minister, left early. His absence felt like a permanent echo. Her mother, Emma, worked herself to the edge. Nurse, teacher, provider, doing double shifts and coming home spent. Bills stacked up, paint peeled, the lights flickered. Dinner sometimes meant whatever could be stretched. School offered little refuge, chalk dust, red X's, and the sting of being called slow. The problem wasn't laziness. It was dyslexia, unnamed and untreated. For years, I thought I was dumb, she later said. At 16, in 1971, she walked away from school, ashamed then, later knowing it wasn't failure. It was a system that hadn't seen her clearly. Her most harrowing trial arrived even earlier. In 1969, at 14, she faced an unplanned pregnancy and with nowhere safe to turn, tried dangerous remedies that nearly ended her life. I drank strange concoctions and it nearly destroyed me, she recalled in The Choices We Made. In 1970, at 15, she faced it again. This time, new law in New York allowed safe legal care, a change that quite literally saved her life. From that pain came a lifelong fire for women's rights, so no other girl would be cornered in fear and silence. I didn't think I was smart, she said, but I knew I could survive, and she did. Leaving school left a void. In the haze of the 1970s, she reached for chemical exits. LSD, heroin, a trap that promised light, then slammed shut. Quitting felt like climbing a cliff with no hem. She slipped, tried again, slipped again, and then, inch by inch, she fought her way out, not gracefully, but relentlessly. The lesson stayed with her. Escape won't heal you. Courage might. She headed west. San Diego, then Berkeley. Any job that paid the rent, waitress, bricklayer, blisters, and bruises to prove it. Make up for the deceased in a funeral home. A chilling reminder of how thin the line is between today and never. She taught acting and comedy and scrappy workshops. Students like a young Courtney Love passing through because performance felt like oxygen. Then 1978 carved a new scar. She watched 2 planes collide in the San Diego sky. Fire and metal burning into blue. For 13 years, she couldn't board a plane. Panic, strangled breath at the mere thought. She rode buses across America while her dreams moved faster than the highway. When a career-making offer finally demanded a flight, she boarded trembling, sweet-pounding heart. Eyes shut, and survived the longest few hours of her life. That wasn't triumph. It was raw. Well, these weren't wasted years. They forged a steel that fame alone can't give. 1982. A first film. Citizen. I'm not losing my mind, I'm giving it away. Small role, big signal. Then 1983 exploded. A one-woman show that was blistering, funny, and human enough to make audiences stand and weep. Broadway followed 156 sold-out performances along with exhaustion, pressure, and a nightly question in the dressing room mirror. Can I keep this up? 1985 answered with a roar. Steven Spielberg cast her as in The Color Purple. She poured a lifetime of wounds into the role. 11 Oscar nominations for the film, will be nominated for Best Actress. The girl once called stupid now stood among giants. Thrilled and terrified, seen at last and stretched thin by the weight of proving she belonged. 90 brought the miracle of Oda Mae Brown in ghost comedy Braided to Tenderness. When her name was called for Best Supporting Actress, she became only the second black woman to win that Oscar. The ovation thundered. The hotel room afterward was quiet. Triumph is luminous and lonely. Then, 1992, Sister Act. As Dolores Van Cardiet, she turned a hiding place into a revival. More than $200 million at the box office, a beloved sequel, and a place in global pop culture that still makes families smile decades later. The price, relentless schedules, press, and the strain of being Whoopi when Karen, the girl beneath the spotlight, just needed rest. In 1994, she broke another ceiling. First black woman to solo host the Academy Awards. Historic, hilarious, and dissected to the syllable by critics who hold scalpels instead of pens. She finished the night with grace and raw nerves. Her range never shrank. Karina, The Little Rascals, and as executive producer of Hollywood Squares. 1998-2004. In 2007, she joined The View, a daily tightrope few can walk for long. In 2010, Four Colored Girls revealed another shade of her power. Toy Story 3 let her voice reach millions more. I don't get to stop, she admitted. Not complaint, just truth. Lev gives no retakes. In September 2007, she took the moderator's chair at The View. Sharp, candid, unapologetically herself. It also meant every remark could ignite a fire. Early comments about Michael Vick and cultural context sparked headlines. In 2009, discussion of Roman Polanski lit another storm. Her defense of Mel Gibson, based on personal experience, drew heat, too. In 2015, skepticism about Bill Cosby shifted to an on-air correction as the public record grew. The pattern repeated, a sentence spoken in seconds, debated for months. Some called her fearless, others called her insensitive. She called herself human. I'm not perfect. The courage was in returning to that table again and again, knowing silence would be easier. The scars of those years taught her and us the same lesson. Words can mend and words can cut. Accountability isn't a place. It's moving ground. People still tune in, some for the laugh, some for the lightning, many for the endurance. At 73, at 18, still shaky from addiction's wreckage, she married Alvin Martin, who had helped guide her through recovery. That same year, she welcomed her daughter, Alicia Andrea Alex Martin. Marriage felt less like a choice than a pressed-into role. By 1979, at 23, it was over. Divorce papers and a baby to feed. I was scared every single night, she said. Scared and determined. Applause doesn't raise a child. Gritmite history echoed. In 1989, Alex at 16 faced an unplanned pregnancy. While the world celebrated Whoopi's ascendance, she met the generational pain she had sworn to outrun. She worked harder, loved fiercer, became a fortress for her daughter and grandchild, and spoke louder for systems that actually help girls like them. By 1986, fame boomed. She married David Clausen, a Dutch cinematographer. Her fire, his calm, but their rhythms clashed. By 1988, in under 2 years, it ended quietly. In 1994, at 38, she married Lyle Trachtenberg, actor and union organizer. It lasted about a year. Her verdict, later, I never really wanted to be married. I thought it's what you were supposed to do. Not cynicism, clarity. The bravest choice can be leaving before the illusion consumes you. Then came the romance everyone watched. Ted Danson, two megastars under a magnifying glass. Private tenderness turned into public theater, especially after the 1993 Friars' Club roast in her honor, where a performance meant as satire detonated into backlash. The relationship dissolved in the mid-90s. No vows, no children, just a deep bruise and lessons about comedy, context, and how love with floodlights rarely grows roots. Fame can't soften certain blows. In 2010, at 54, Whoopi lost her mother. Emma, nurse, teacher, warrior, the axis of her world. She was my everything, was all she could manage. Then 2015 took Clyde, her brother, and first best friend. The last person who knew the girl named Karen before the world called her Whoopi. The applause kept going. The kitchen chair stayed empty. She turned pain outward, toward service. Family, single mothers, healthcare, causes that honored Emma's hands and Clyde's laughter. Years earlier, she'd battled endometriosis. Pain dismissed too often in women. She spoke up so others would be heard sooner. Then 2018 and 2019 collided. A nagging cough became pneumonia. Infection spread to her blood. Doctors told her, you have a 30% chance. Machines, tubes, fear. The same shadow that took her mother and brother leaned in close. She vanished from the view for 6 weeks. When she returned, thinner, slower, alive. The ovation wasn't for a punchline. It was for survival. The experience changed her. Gratitude threaded through the humor. Breath is a gift, she said, not for effect, but because she'd felt what it's like to almost lose it. Weight and wellness stayed complicated. She spoke candidly about seeking medical help, including GLP-1 therapies like Mounjaro, and just as candidly blasted ad-driven fake ads that used her face to hawk weight loss scams. I didn't say it. I didn't endorse it. Be careful. That was protection, not performance. At 69, she builds her days with intention. Her base is a gracious 1920s estate in Llewellyn Park, West Orange, New Jersey. Quiet gardens, warm wood, a library of scripts and history, a kitchen that,